I finally shaved and took a shower and dealt with all that. Hi there. Yeah, that's what happens when I shave. When I wash my hair, it thins out. So I look bald when in reality, it's just my hair thins out. Sucks, doesn't it? It'll come back. But I'm frustrated. I guess. I mean, I've hated Apple for a long time. I'm part of the fucking Apple sucks community over there on Reddit. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't really care. And I've given them the bird for a long time. I'm not happy. Uh, I guess I will just say that I've decided that I've read the security disclaimers and everything for using the Sunbird messaging app, and I'm aware that it will probably be data breached at some point, and I don't care. I'm going to use it anyways because for me, it's now obvious that, well, for one thing, I had already opted to back my own data up on my iPhone before I traded it in, anyways. I had revoked, storage in iCloud and everything because of the fact that, the iCloud service wasn't end to end encrypted at that time. And then when they fixed that, I also pointed out that I wanted it to be zero knowledge. And then they had some objections about that. And I was like, well, I'm not going to take no for an answer. And so I disabled iCloud. I didn't really care what their response was. I mean, that's not how I discourse with these companies. When I'm making a request, it's actually more like a demand. And if they don't yield, it's bust, basically, and do what I want. And so it was, I know, that you can't reset your password in a zero knowledge situation, but I didn't want to have to trust Apple with my data. I mean, if I have to remember a passkey, I can always go to PetSmart and literally take advantage of the dog tags and engrave my password in it and then put it in a safety deposit box at the bank. You know, like it's just in case I forget it. Like so I can go to the bank and retrieve it the next day and get access to my data that way and get it in a reasonable length of time. But Apple just didn't care. They didn't. They had their excuses, and that was that, and they were going to do things their way, and I got tired of that. I got tired of the discoursing with them in that kind of way, but I see it now. Because I live in an iPhone family, and they're both complaining now that they got good phones, and yet the battery is down to 30% by the end of the day, and my phone is still like 40 to 50% from recording right into TikTok yesterday for over 10 minutes and just uploading the raw data that it without any editing, I suppose, into TikTok. But my phone's still going good, and I tend to run it down to about 20%, and tend to get 2 days before I have to plug it in, and it charges within 2 hours. Like this is just from empty to full, and now we're seeing that Apple's battery life is going to shit, and I'm like, what? I I bet what's going wrong with it is the fact that Apple tied a special chip to the battery to serialize it, so that if an independent repair shop went in and replaced it with a third party battery, in order to fix it, they literally have to take the chip off the battery and then spot weld it on using heat near the battery, because that's a danger that's dangerous. So they have to do spot welding to minimize the spread instead of soldering it in, which is the safest way to do it. Although there are some nut jobs that will do it with a soldering iron, anyways. But that's not really don't do that at home sort of repair on the damn things, and they will take it off and put it on a new battery, and that's what you have to do. With it, because it's got a little, there's a little thing that sticks out of it that you have to unfurl from the battery, and then you pull it out from its enclosure and then pull it up, and you start to see that there's a chip that they've put in it now that serializes the battery, so that if you don't transfer that chip onto a new a new battery, then what they're going to do is you know they're going to serialize it, and you're going to get the warning message that pops up, and you won't be able to receive battery health anymore and everything. And Apple has been doing this kind of thing, but you know what? Tongue in cheek, maybe the fact that the battery is dying quicker is the fact that they put a little chip on the battery. Maybe it's draining it,